What is up, dope heads? This is the Dope Show. I am Dope, your idiot leader, and you're watching the Dope Show live here on my channel. Today we got a special guest. He's backstage. He's forgotten more than I'll ever even know about comic books. Y'all are in for a treat because we figured out how to get him on here. We figured out all this stuff with StreamYard. Neither one of us know what we're doing, but we figured it out. We got Bizarre Brain Comics backstage. Gary, I'm going to invite you on in. What is
Oh,
going
hey,
on, Gary?
hey, howdy, how the hell
Hey,
are you?
hey. I've been watching
Yeah,
your channel for a long, long time, and you know, a
well,
lot
I
of things you
appreciate
do.
that.
Yeah, I
Uh,
love everything you do. I can tell that you're very passionate about comic books. You're not on here trying to run a QVC page or nothing, you
it's just something I've always loved ever since I was a kid.
Yeah, yeah. What got you into horror?
Uh, well, I was never really big into horror myself. I liked some of the when I was in the '70s. I liked the Gold Key mystery titles, and I
Yep.
liked some of the Marvel horrors just occasionally. Um, but I had heard about, of course, the EC horror comics and how they're supposed to be so great. And wasn't until the late '80s and early '90s when I forgot the publisher now was reprinting the EC comics, and I
Yeah, I
was
remember
always
those.
more into science fiction. So I was getting the science fiction. I said, well, I think I'll try because I've always heard, because I had seen some episodes of Tales from the Crypt and the like, and I so I picked up a few of those, and I still only have just a relatively few, just a handful of them, but I enjoyed them. I especially liked the sense of humor that the horror hosts brought to it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as, and of course I had knew about all the fiasco with the congressional hearings in the '50s, which gave rise to the Comics Code Authority,
Yeah.
which I think was both good and bad. Uh,
Yeah.
it- but but they aimed directly at putting EC out of business, and and of course that's when all the real horror collapsed. All the other pre-code horror, and I'd never seen it, with an occasional rare exception of some reprint of some pre-code horror.
Yeah, because it seems like
And
the closer you get to 55, the crazier it got. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
It's like they had to keep outdoing herself and getting crazier and crazier and crazier.
Oh, yeah. But I do think, even though I had some great stuff, I out there, I do think that EC was indeed the best.
Yeah.
They
And
had the
they,
best quality artists and the best quality writing, especially since they adapted so much of Ray Bradbury stories. And Ray Bradbury is one of my favorite authors, both his science fiction and horror. He's some great stuff.
yeah, EC was definitely the best. They also had a lot of dialogue. I mean, one of their stories, you know, is a lot compared to any modern day comic. You got more on one page probably than you got in a whole modern day comic.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes
So,
I think so.
yep, we got K-pop on here. K-pop, what's up? K-pop is an artist. Gary is an artist too. If you look, where are we at here? Gary did
Yeah.
that Wolfman right there, and he did a bunch of other stuff. I did a video on Gary. He sent me a bunch of stuff. So K-pop is in the house.
I
Uh,
tried finding K-pop, and all I get is Korean music stuff.
yeah,
So
K-pop, drop your link on there because she's got an artist show. She does artists and she has other people on her show and they draw comic book stuff and all that.
mm,
So uh, we got Bleecker Street in the house.
yeah, it was last week.
Yep, yep. Bleeker's a good guy. He owns a comic book store in the some Canadian flea market somewhere close to Niagara Falls.
Oh,
So
gee.
so he lives it and breathes it also. So that's what I like to have on my show. I there's certain people that's passionate about comics is all I'm into. Because
Mhm.
I don't I don't like some of the channels. They're just trying to push stuff and sell it like QVC program or whatever. And I'm not.
Yeah. Or just show. Now, I've got nothing against those who just want to show show their collections and show I got this one,
Oh
I
yeah,
got this one, I got this one.
yeah. I
But
love
I
doing
am
that myself.
a reader. I'm a comic book reader, and that's what I love. I love the storytelling, and of course, I love
Yeah,
the art. And I think it's a wonderful blend of art and literature, and it is a form of both art and literature, and is
yeah,
as a great medium for telling stories. And if I don't gab too much here, and it is a tradition that goes back into antiquity. You know, they've credited some of the archaeologists have credited some of the cave paintings as some of the earliest cartoons, which in effect they are. But I tell you, about 35 or so years ago, there was at the Museum of Natural History, now the Museum of Nature and Science, there was a traveling display of Egyptian artifacts and stuff, and they had a reproduction. It wasn't the original one, a reproduction of a papyrus that was a comic strip. I kid you not. And it was basically Tom and Jerry. It was about a cat and mouse. And it was a series of humorous drawings of the cat trying to catch the mouse and the mouse outsmarting the cat. Just
yeah,
like Tom and Jerry.
yeah,
And that goes back 5,000 years.
yeah. So you just tell me some interesting stuff before we started. What years was you in the Navy?
1978 to 84.
Did you, when you was in the submarine, did y'all read comics?
Oh, hell yeah. I'll tell you. What I did was I had a hold slot and an arrangement at my local comic shop, which fortunately at the time was just a few blocks away from where I lived. And so that when I was at sea, they would keep all, because normally they would take everything out after a month or so. But I had an arrangement said, well, I was at sea, so it'd be every 3 months. You know, I would go in when I come back from sea, go in, I would get 3 months worth of comics all in one shot. And then I would read those for the next 3 months and collect the following 3 months and take those to sea with me and read them at sea.
Crazy. How many people was on your submarine?
We had just a little under 150
Yeah,
crew.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
I'd be so claustrophobic.
Fleet ballistic missile submarine. I was a missile technician. I worked with nuclear weapons.
Like I said, you're very smart. You forgot more than I'll ever know for sure.
Well, on some things, other things, it's all beyond me. But I've you hear stuff about radiation and stuff. I've forgotten more about radiation than most people ever learn. Because I was also radiation petty officer for my department, working with equipment to measuring and testing our radiation exposure and stuff like that.
Fast George says, "Hey, people, dope and bizarre brain." So you know Fast George there.
Oh yeah, he leaves comments on my
Yeah,
videos
yeah, yeah.
sometimes.
And Jimmy G's in the house. I don't know if you know Jimmy G. Jimmy G's on here. So, what got you into art? I mean, when did you start drawing? Because you're really, really good.
Oh, thank you. Well, I was, of course, all kids draw when they're kids, but I was so much into comic books, I started drawing stuff from the comics, and
Mhm.
and of course, so I did that my whole life. When I got out of the, I was in art classes in high school, and so I was pretty decent. If you remember in that one of those mini comics I sent you called The Portrait, that
Yep.
is a true story. That was right after I got out of high school, and that was a true story. Somebody hired me to do a portrait of the guy's daughter because the art teacher recommended me. And so when I got out of the Navy, sometimes I wished I had become an illustrator draftsman when I joined the Navy instead, because then I would have gotten all the training beforehand, for free. But after I got out of the Navy, I went to a year of college at junior college at the school, the town I graduated high school from, and then went to 2 years at the Colorado Institute of Art, and I got a degree in advertising design. So I worked as a security guard for several years, and then I worked as a forklift driver for 27 more. And even though, yeah,
I still
it's
got
hard
both
to
your
get.
comic books sitting on my desk, and I
It's
really
hard to
like
get somebody.
the other one's pretty creative. The way you're sitting there and you're fighting these monsters and try to get to the comic book store, and then you find out that he's like fighting traffic and all that stuff. It was really neat.
Yeah, yeah, you caught it. Like some
Yeah,
people may not get that, but yeah,
yeah,
it was.
yeah. The way, even the way you just lined up the story, it takes a lot of skill to just line it up like that. So
Oh,
I thought it was really good. I got both
oh,
of them
thank
sitting on my desk at work.
Yeah,
So
I've done a bunch of small press comics like that, and I'm currently working on a children's book that I hope to do and publish. I've got it written, and I'm working on the a dummy version of the book before I start the final artwork, and it's going to be it'd be semi comic style because it's just part of my storytelling. So I'll have, instead of just one illustration per page with the text, I'll have two or three on some pages. Some of them will just be one simple, well, not simple, one complete drawing per page.
well, I'm definitely going to send you K-pop's link. That way you can check out her website and watch because I think you'd really like it. And
Okay, cool.
I'll email it to you after the show because I don't know how to do links, and she's saying that I have to do it. So, but anyway, looks like we got Ben Compton in here. What's up, Ben Compton?
Ben Compton.
Yeah.
Yo, hello.
So, have a lot of people in here, and I told K-pop today I was going to be showing a series that I think that she would like. This series I'm about to show, I'll start out showing these books, and then we'll go back and forth. You can show some books if you want to.
Okay.
Everybody's always asking me, how do I get into collecting horror books? How do I do this? I'm like, you just start collecting. When I was young, as 20 years old or whatever, I was collecting stuff that I just got off the rack. You can find the Fridays the 13th, the Chucky's, the I don't know, the Nightmare on Elm Streets, all that kind of stuff. So just start collecting and reading, and you don't have to collect everything. Don't have to be expensive pre-code horror. 70s DC, 70s Marvel, I really love. But this series I'm about to show here, it fits all the boxes. It checks everything. They're cheap, they're affordable, they're beautiful covers. Everyone's got an artist doing the cover that's amazing. There's only 9 in the series if you want to collect them all. And this is Tower of Shadows from the 70s Marvel. And every cover is a murder's row, but they're called Tower of Shadows. And the first cover here is a Steranko. So Steranko did the very first cover.
Oh, cool.
And as you can see, so that is Steranko. This next cover here, guest artist on this one. This one is a Tower of Shadows #2. And we got a hippie. We got some kind of blob coming down the steps. He's got on his flip-flops. She's got on her flip-flops. It's a beautiful book. This is #2. And this is Neil Adams' cover. So for your very first 2 books of Tower of Shadows, you had Steranko and Neil Adams doing the covers. So not a bad combination. #3 here. This is #3. It's got all the classic creatures on there. You can see a Mumby and a Hunchback, and there's all kinds of ghouls and stuff. This is a Gene Colan cover. So
that's right up Gene Colan's alley too.
Yeah, I love the shadow work. You can see a werewolf man over the cover. There's a top hat. Lots of cool guys. That's Gene Colan. So that's 3 issues, and they can be had pretty affordable. Fun to look up, fun to hunt. Here is Tower of Shadows #4. This is a Dan Hack. And as you can see out the window, they're in the middle of the city doing some kind of seance. They got some kind of thing down here. We got some kind of fire ghoul shooting up out of the floor. But that is a Dan Hack. So, or Don Hack, I think is the name.
Don Hack.
Yeah. And then this is 5. This is a Wally Wood.
Ooh, that's cool.
So this looks like me at Panama City when I get drunk and lay on the beach and I get a suntan just on one side.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah, he's got a web foot. He's half monster, half man. But this is a Wally Wood cover. I created a demon. Pretty cool cover. And this is issue 5. We got 4 more to go. We got Tower of Shadows number 6. And this right here is a Steve Ditko cover. So if you think about it, we're on issue 6, and you've already got Wally Wood, Steve Ditko, Neil Adams. I mean, this is the murder row of great artists. So
oh yeah, top notch.
And number 7, Tower of Shadows. This right here is Barry Windsor Smith.
I got that one.
Also Wally Wood, but they both did the cover. It's a Barry Windsor Smith and Wally Wood. So very cool cover. But you can find these cheap. It gives you something to hunt. Here's number 8. This one here is a Wally Wood cover. So
anything with Wally Wood is good.
Yeah. I knew you like Wally Wood from the EC days, so. But I think they just used some art because this is the 70s. I think they just went back and found old art to use this. And number 9, the last issue, and my favorite artist of the bunch. This is a Bernie Wrightson. You can see his name right there.
Oh, yeah.
Got Bernie Wrightson. We got a guy in flip-flops. His back must be hurt. He ain't paying attention. He's just, something's coming out of the sewer. And like I said, you got Bernie Wrightson, you got Neil Adams, you got Wally Wood, Steranko, Ditko. I mean, what more could you want out of 9 issues? It was a murderer's row. It's a good way to start collecting if you just want to get into horror. You can find them cheap. They're fun. You ain't got to go out and buy the big $3,000 books. You could get a bunch of these little, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Pick them up for $5 a piece all day.
Reprints. That's the way to go. Unless you're big into collecting the original ones. That's why I can't afford. So the real old stuff that I've got of anything is in crappy shape. Some of it's real crappy shape because I've had it for 50 years and read it 50 times.
Yeah, and I love crappy shape books. I mean, I think pre-code horror and even old books, they look better when they're beat up because they look like spooky. You know what I mean? You don't want a perfect 9/8 pre-code horror book. You want something that looks like rats been chewing on it, spider webs, all that kind of stuff. So, that's the stuff I think. So, but you got any books you want to show?
Yeah, this is some stuff. Just some books that I've got for over the past year or so. Now, this is just something this isn't a comic book, but this is The Marvel Age of Comics by Roy Thomas. It's from 1961 to 1978. My wife gave me this for Christmas. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but it's got some marvelous reprint artwork. Good one. Conan the Barbarian, number 1.
When I hear Roy Thomas, that's what I think about. It's Conan.
Oh yeah, because he was the best. And then I got the Silver Age of comic book art by from my wife from Christmas time by Arlen Schumer. And again, all kinds of stuff about the artists from trying to get the glare off of there. Now, this guy, Arlen Schumer, has a YouTube channel. He does a series of college grade seminars on comic book art. And that's how I first heard of this one. And it's great. So that's Arlen Schumer. Just put that in. And then this one here is Manga Manga, the world of Japanese comics, which is I'm reading to do a review of on my channel. I actually read it like 35 years ago, but I recently, that was a library copy, so I recently got a reprint, and it's updated, and that's real interesting. And I wanted to ask you, do you get any of these? These are from they're like Shudder.
I love those.
Oh yeah. And Vampirist Carmilla. There's a lot. Yes, great. I was wanting to see if you had got those.
They were called Creepy. Remember the Creepy, the eerie, the Creepy had to change the shutter or something. Remember that?
Yeah. They had the Creeps.
Creeps, yeah. And I guess it's too close to Creepy.
That's what I was thinking too, because they stopped that in a little less than 40. Issue 40.
Yeah, and then they used the same artists, some of the same writers. They copied everything about it.
Yeah, and it's just like the old Warren comics. Even some of the creators one of the editors and writers is Don Glut, who was used to write for the Warren magazines, and of course Gold Key, and it featured the last published art by Richard Corbin just before he passed away.
I love Richard Corbin art. That's what I grew up on, the Twisted Tales and all the other stuff he did. He had a distinctive, you could definitely tell Richard Corbin's art from everybody else, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he had some weird stuff.
Yeah, he's weird like us.
Yeah, and then since I mentioned Don Glut, I got this shit. Trying to position it. There we go. Dr. Spectre, Volume 4 reprinting, Volume 3, correction. I already had Volumes 1 and 2, and this is Volume 3, and I'm not sure if there's a fourth volume or not. I love Dr. Spectre. He's one of my favorites from that time period. Died by Don Glut and Jesse Santos. That's some marvelous work, and it's very innovative writing.
Yeah, I bought some Spectre this week. Let me see if I can find it over here. I got one right here. I just bought this week. I got my stack on there. I was about to do my other. I do a video every week, but here's one of the Dr. Spectres I just picked up this week.
Oh yeah. I saw that on your shorts. Yeah, and I've got one of that one too, and of course also the reprints.
Yeah, I love Golden Key. I mean, that's another cheap way to collect. I mean, Golden Key and Dale, they're not expensive. You know, you can still find Golden Key and Dale for the same price as a new modern book. These cool painted covers. You got the girl tied up over here. You got Dr. Spectre just busting through a skeleton. But this is kind of stuff that's just kooky, crazy. Dig through your dollar bins, dig through your $3 bins. Find these kind of things for the same price as some modern book that ain't near as cool. Got a lot of character to them. So, and you got like your Boris Karloff's, your Ripley's Believe It or Not. I think my boy is froze up over there, but he should be back here in a minute, hopefully. So let's see what's going on with the chat while our guys froze up. Let's see here. God Tank, what is up, man? Good to have you in the house. Let's see here. God Tank. Who else has joined us lately? I love Disney. What is going on? Now he's dropped all the way out. He's got to get back up in here. We're having a good conversation for your Colorado internet went out. What is going on? El Green Machine. Gotta love some El Green Machine. So I think I'm caught up with the chat. Let's show some more books while we're waiting on him to get back. We've got a nice witching hour I picked up this week. I'm trying to collect all, I don't know. I think there's 85 of these. And I have probably 76 of them. And this is one of the awful covers I had to pick up just to have them all. But you got this dude telling his girl, come get back in bed. And she's got this monster outside the window. Bizarre Brain, he's making a comeback. There he is. What is up, buddy?
My battery, there was problems with my battery. It was running low. I was about ready to put it on the charger anyway. So now I've got to hold it. It
happens all the time.
With the charger. I wasn't sure I'd be able to get back.
Oh, yeah. You can hop out and hop in as many times as you want. It's crazy technology. So what was we saying? I'm trying to remember where we were at. Oh, yeah. You're showing some stuff.
We were talking about the Dr. Spectre.
Yeah. So you like Dr. Spectre?
Oh, yeah. I love Dr. Spectre. I love all the Don Glut, Gold Key. Not Don Glut, Gold Key stuff. Because he did the fantasy, the sword and sorcery, and they were all tied together. I especially like the way, like in this reprint book here, where he brought in, because he was trying to create even though Gold Key wasn't interested in it, he was trying to create a shared universe like the other publishers, and he brought in Gold Key superheroes, the Owl and Dr. Solar, Man of the Atom, He brought those in because he had stories featuring them in his in Dr. Spectre. So that's great.
Yeah. I love Golden Key. I love the Boris Karloff stuff, the Ripley's Believe It or
Oh
Not
yeah.
stuff, and all the Dell and Golden Key. I love Charlton. Charlton's cool too.
Oh yeah. And Charlton had an amazing number of horror mystery books in the 70s, and I always pick them up when I can when they're not too expensive. I don't. Well, I have more now, but I didn't get too many of them. Just an occasional one back then. For the mystery stuff, I mostly dealt with Gold Key and some DC, like House
Oh yeah,
of Mystery.
yeah.
This is
House of Mysteries,
the
man.
showcase House of Mystery reprints. This is volume 1. I already had volume 2, but I recently got volume 1. That's great. That's all great stuff. And again, had the touch of humor, and always like to point out that you remember Plop from the mid 70s. Yes, it's a humor comic, but it's also a horror comic. Even had
Yeah.
the horror hosts from House of Mystery and House of I suddenly forgot the name. House of Mystery.
Secrets.
What's the other one?
House of Secrets.
House of Secrets.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the word. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Plop kind of reminded me of Mad magazine. A little bit.
Yeah, and my wife loved Plop back then too. She loved it especially because of the Basil Wolverton bizarre cartoons for the cover, and I just love Basil Wolverton. The first time I read something about him, I didn't. I saw some of his space stuff back in the early 80s, and I just didn't care for it at first, but then I saw more of it, and I grew to love it. He's just very imaginative, and his horror stuff is magnificent. You just don't see that much of it anymore, unfortunately. I recently did an episode of his space stuff.
Yeah.
And
all the Dell space stuff was cool.
Totally.
Dell, Charlton.
Yeah, I would love. Yeah, I'd love. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was just going to say I would love. I'd love to get the Basil Wolverton Bible, which is just his religious, featuring his religious artwork. But every time I look for it, it's like fucking expensive. I know you cuss on your channel. I don't cuss on my channel because I want it to be kid friendly. And I tell you, I cuss like a sailor because I was a sailor. So I have to.
Yeah.
I'm keeping my mouth in check.
Yeah, you got to cuss like a sailor for your sailor.
Yeah.
So let's see what else I got over here laying around that I picked up here this week. What about some Swamp Thing? You ever reading Swamp Thing? Saga Swamp Thing?
Oh yeah, Swamp Thing. And
I've got a bony Swamp Thing there. I don't know. That one's not as scary to me as most Swamp Things, but I saw this at the store and I thought, well, I'll pick that up.
Oh yeah, I like that Swamp Thing, and that movie. And I did a Swamp Thing episode not too long ago. And I mentioned, and when I was living in Charleston, South Carolina, that's where they filmed the first Swamp Thing movie, and they were talking about it on the news and stuff there, out at Magnolia Gardens, which is a beautiful place, but it's right in the middle of a swamp, and that's where they shot it. But they have the beautiful houses like you saw in that movie, and of course it's very low budget, and it was at the time. You're too young to remember, but I sure can. I was surprising for a Wes Craven movie. Did surprisingly well and was surprisingly well received. That's why they had the sequel, which had better production values and much better costume, but wasn't as well written and was done more tongue in cheek. And then they had the really horrendous HBO TV series. But did you see the more recent TV series from just a few years ago? Yeah, we watched that on. I got it on DVD after it had aired because we don't do the streaming stuff.
Yeah,
and we really enjoyed it too. And it's kind of scary. Yeah, like Swamp Thing should be.
You more of a Swamp Thing guy or a Man Thing guy?
I like them both, but probably just because because he has some intelligence. I probably like the Swamp Thing better. But have you ever seen the Man Thing movie?
I haven't seen the Man Thing movie. No.
Yeah. I've got it. I've had it for quite a while, but just a few weeks ago we finally watched it, and I've heard a bunch of crap about it. It was originally a made-for-TV movie, but probably for HBO or something like that. But it was, but it has cussing in it, so. Uh, but it was actually better than I thought. It's not much like Man Thing from the comics at all, but it is actually kind of scary,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed it. We really enjoyed the movie.
I
So
like
if you get
Man
a
Thing
chance,
stories better, but I think the art works better on Swamp Thing. Yeah. So,
yeah. It all
you
depends
know,
on who's doing the writing, I suppose.
yeah, you see Bernie Wrightson's covers at 1 through 10,
Oh
and
yeah,
yeah, it's like that's hard to beat. And I've got one book, a Hulk book. I forgot what number it was, but it's got a Swamp Thing drawn by Bernie Wrightson on the front where he's fighting Hulk. And I wish Bernie Wrightson would have drawn a Man Thing. I mean,
oh,
I wish he'd have drawn Man
Man
Thing
Thing,
because it
yeah,
was so much better. Yeah,
yeah. Because I've seen that cover. And
yeah.
speaking of such, I got right here. I got Creep
Creep
Show.
Show,
Yep.
amazing.
This is a reprint of the comic adaptation of the original movie from 1983 with
Yep.
the cover by what's his name? I suddenly forgot his name. Jack Kamen, the EC artist, did the cover.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a cool book.
Bernie Wrightson interior art, and it's great. Of course, all the stories from the show, and that's some great
Yeah,
stuff. So,
Creep Show
most of
2
my
is
cool
probably my
stuff
favorite movie of all
is
time.
yeah. And we've been watching some when we can watch the new Creep Show TV series. I've got the first season on DVD, but we haven't watched it yet. And I've been, even though I haven't read them, I've got the first, was it 5 or 6 issues of
Yep,
Creep Show comic based on
just came out.
the new stories. Yeah, from the
Yeah,
new stuff.
yeah, they're good. Each one of them has at least 2 stories in it. So
Yeah, haven't read those yet, but I've been getting them, and just
yeah,
like I got all the Sergeant Rock and Army of the Dead or
Army of the
whatever the
Dead.
title was,
Yeah,
and I
against the
got
Army
all
of the
those,
Dead.
but I haven't read any of them yet.
Yeah, I
But
got Hitler on the cover of 5 and 6.
yeah,
So
and
yeah,
which should be good, but because I'm such a Sergeant Rock fan, and I just I think it was yesterday I uploaded a Sergeant Rock video. I've got about 3 or 4 videos ahead. So if I
yeah,
shoot something tomorrow, it won't be uploaded till next week. Mhm.
yeah,
And of course, we were talking about the great. Of course, the inspiration for Creep Show, of course, was the old EC horror comics. And this is great too. Get it on there. Tales from the Crypt #1 from the EC archives, reprinting a bunch of those great ones. Oh,
yeah.
and the same goes for the Vault of Horror. Oh, they're
Yeah.
all just so wonderful. But what I
EC is
really want to
great.
show you, this is a real treasure that being a reader and of the comics, and I very interested in the artists and the history, is this book right here. Foul Play. I'd never seen or heard of it before, and I found it at a flea market for $20. And what it is it's each chapter is about one of the EC artists, not just a horror, but all of them. And then inside that chapter, they have at least one, sometimes 2 stories of the EC stories that they drew. So it is just marvelous. And it's a great resource. I've used it for some of my research for my videos. So
Yeah.
all that stuff is just great and great fun.
Yeah, I agree. I love all that stuff. And you was talking about Sergeant Rock. My stepdad, growing up, he was into Sergeant Rock and what is it, the Losers, and the Hellcats,
Mm.
and all those old Army, all the old Army
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, I grew up on that stuff too.
both war comics and the Western comics were pervasive in my house when I was growing up, because my dad had been in the military. And those, just every once in a while, if one was laying there, he would pick it up and read it. He wouldn't go out of his way to read one, but those were the only comics that he would read. And I really do miss those. Even though I like the superhero comics too, I really wish, that superheroes did not dominate the comics so much.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that got me into my books.
Unfortunate.
I think one thing that got me in my books was he was always collecting war stuff, and you had like the weird war tales, and the weird what was the Star Spangled one? Was it had the dinosaurs fighting in there and stuff?
Yeah.
Army people.
I love those too. Yeah. Star Spangled War is reprinted in showcase as the war that time forgot, and I love those.
Yeah,
they're goofy as hell, but they're great fun.
That and the weird war tales, them two things, because that was horror meets army, and I loved it. So I collect those two; those are really neat. So,
and I got to tell you here, Dope. Even though it's on the charger, my phone battery is getting way low. So I think I'm going to have to cut it short, even though I've got several more I'd like to show you. I'm down to 9% on my battery.
Well, I'd like to say I'm thankful to get you on here. I've been watching you for a long time. You're a great person to have in the community. Your channel's a boat full of knowledge. And if you're not subscribed to Bizarre Brain Comics, subscribe to Bizarre Brain Comics. So anytime you want to come back on, you holler at me.
Thank you very much.
All right, okay. Thank you, brother.
And I'll let you go, and bye to everybody out there in YouTubeville and all my comic book friends. Okay.
Thank you.
How do I sign off there?
Hit that little end podcast thing.
There we go. We'll get it.
We'll get it, Gary.
I'll get it. I keep.
That was a privilege. He's a guy that I've always watched. He's forgotten more than I'll ever know, and he knows more about horror, and horror ain't even his favorite thing than I know. He's big on horror. He's big on sci-fi. Check out his channel. He reads books to kids. He tries to get people hooked on comics. Really cool guy. He's a vet. He, like I said, he rode around in a submarine, being claustrophobic on bottom of the ocean with 3 months of comics at a time, reading comic books in the 60s and 70s. So, he's done a lot of cool stuff. He's picked up comic books probably all over the world, did all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm happy to have him on here, but that was a treat. Hopefully he'll come back another time. I think that's the first time he's ever been on camera as far as one of these StreamYards. He always tapes his shows. He didn't know how to get on my show, and we've been working on it today. So proud to have you on here. Thanks a lot, Gary. Bizarre Brain Comics. And Anthony, the most knowledgeable man I know. What is going on, buddy? Anthony's joined us. I Love Disney. In the house. Jerry the Jitterbug. Just watched Jerry. He was on Rob Fatstack's channel showing off his books. Go check that out if you ain't seen it. There's Jimmy G, my boy Jacob. Jacob never sleeps. He's always on broadcast all the time. Look at here. What is going on, buddy? We got a new guy. Hinari. Hinari's in the house. I guess that's how you say that. Glad you came and joined us. What is up, brother? Like that Ghost Rider thing there you got going on. Let's show some more books. Here's another book I picked up. Here is Skeleton Hand. It's just a reprint. Me and him was talking about reprints. Like I said, they don't have to be cost a fortune. Stuff like this don't cost a fortune, but it's cooler than crap. It is a reprint, as you can see right here, by American Comic Company. And stuff like this, you don't have to go out and buy the high dollar version. It's cool to have the high dollar version. And if I found it, I'd try to buy one. But if you just want to read the story, you want the artwork, all the stuff like this is all you really need. And this is stuff like Bizarre Brain collects. Gary, he loves reading the books. He's passionate about reading the books, and this is cool stuff. Let's see what else we got down here. I picked this one up today. This is a Dead of the Night, number 3. We got some zombie moss people coming out of the sewers. We got a cop that's oblivious like always. He's probably walking to the donut shop. He smells donuts and he don't even see what's coming behind him. That's what I think's going on right there. We got Secrets of Haunted House number 12. We got this dude. I got a skeleton. He's got a skull in his hand. He's rocking. He's got his dagger. He's ready like Freddy. Cool book, cool book, cool book. And I am not a Marvel guy that much, and I'm definitely not a Doctor Strange thing, but when I seen this Doctor Strange cover, I was hooked. I had to buy it. We got a spooky Doctor Strange cover here. We got Doctor Strange and Agent Nick Fury, and we got the cloaked guy on here, and look in the background at all the black and white. When I draw, I like to draw with graphite and in black and white, and I thought that was really cool. The only thing really in color is Doctor Strange. Like the cloak doctor, I guess it's more like a Grim Reaper, but he's floating, and he has no feet. So, thought that was a really cool cover. So, Lady Fantastic. What is going on, Lady Fantastic? That book I just bought right there, showed her a couple days ago because me and her shop at the same LCS. So, let's see. What else we got? I showed this one to Lady Fantastic. I picked this one up at the same time. We got a Man-Thing number 1, volume 2. But for $3.99, I'll take it all day long. Don't look as good as the original volume. He's a little fatter. He's a little bit older. I guess he's been sitting around eating seaweed and shit, but he's gotten fat. This is a fat, older Man-Thing. My favorite Man-Thing is whenever Bernie Wrightson drew him on that Hulk cover. I forgot the number, but it's the best one. You know how it is. Lady Fantastic says, Dope and I let each other live because we collect different stuff. She is right. We show each other what's at the LCS because we're never fighting over the same stuff. She's in there getting X-Men, and if I see anything Black Panther, I'll send her some pics, and she knows I'm into the weird stuff. I'm into Charlton and Golden Key and Dell and horror stuff. So she sees any House of Secrets or Witching Hour or anything, she sends it to me. And the cool part about it, when we have a sale at our LCS and stuff's like half price or stuff like that, I don't have to be there at 10 o'clock when the doors open because I know everybody's going straight for the Spider-Man, Spawn, X-Men. Nobody's going for what I'm going for. So that's how that works. Just spent $22 on some cheese sticks and a salad. Damn, Biggie, you'd have been better off going with that damn foot-long number 6 Boss at Subway with extra pepperoni. At least you got full for $22. Hulk $197. Hey, I'll take your word for it. You're the Marvel girl. I liked it because Bernie Wrightson, I picked it up, and I really like that book. I like it. I wish Wrightson drew all the Man-Thing covers. Look at there. There is my man, the big old Ramfast. He is a big, amazing Spider-Man collector. He's working his way down. If you're not subscribed to Ramfast, go subscribe to Ramfast Comics. He is basically, I think he's down in the 40s now. He's picking up all kinds of old 12-cent Spider-Man books. He's making his way down. DC Horror, of course, Lady Fantastic. Weird silver and gold stuff. Exactly. What is Bizarre's channel name? It is Bizarre Brain Comics. You really gotta be into it to follow his stuff. I mean, it's deep. It's more than just I like the cover. I mean, he'll tell you all about the artwork and who wrote the story and what else the guy wrote. I mean, he dives deep dive with Bizarre Brain Comics. His name's Gary, and he's got some weird shows. I've been watching him for a long time. Really like his shows. Felt guilty about buying books, but spend $40 on fast food like a goof. I feel you. Yep. That sucks, don't it? Let's see here. Astonishing 12's Neil Adams draws Man Thing in the origin story. Yep. I was sitting there last night on a wish Tylox a happy birthday. I was coming home from a steakhouse, wasn't able to type on there. My man Tylox had a happy birthday yesterday. They had like a 7-hour show last night. I woke up this morning, I couldn't believe it was 7 hours. And then I was telling my boys about it this morning. I was on with Biggie and K-Pop and Bleeker and everybody. And I was telling Bleeker about how I couldn't believe it's 7 hours. And down Bleeker went 6 hours this morning. So I don't know. I have to do my 45 minutes to an hour and I'm out. I can't do all that crap. Let's see. Phantom Stranger 13 is probably the prototype to Swampy. I've seen your Phantom Stranger 13. It's a good book. I've got 2 books left over here to show, and they're both crazy as hell. Wouldn't have it any other way. I've showed this to Lady Fantastic and Biggie on my show, but I'm going to show it off that way I can finally file the thing and put it up. This is New Gods number 3, my favorite New Gods book. I love C and D list characters. Jack Kirby started out at Marvel and then he went over to DC. And when he's at Marvel, he had the Silver Surfer. Well, when he came to DC, he created the Black Racer. He's got skis on his feet. He ain't surfing. He's got skis on his feet. If you ain't got the first appearance of the Black Racer, pick it up. Run. Death is the Black Racer. Woo! Black Racer. Get you some Black Racer. When he's out with the new James Gunn movie coming out with the Black Racer, you go wish you had this Black Racer. Black Racer is bad. Bad Mama Jamma. Oh, me. Did I see his new tattoo? I did see his new tattoo. Oh, me. I've been getting some witching hours, some House of Mysteries, too, since seeing your post. I love to hear that. A lot of people tell me, they don't know they really want horror books until they see them because they didn't know they existed. And they'll see something they never seen before on my channel or something. They're like, hey, I had to start picking that up. That's cool. I didn't know about it. I'm glad to do that. Let's see here. So redneck. Tylox, you rock. I'm from Nashville. Tylox is right beside us. He's over in South Carolina. There is some Black Racer love right there. Black Racer. Black Racer would beat the shit out of a damn Silver Surfer. Black Racer is the Silver Surfer 2.0. Black Racer. Looks badass with them skis on his feet. How could you not love some Black Racer? He's in DC. He's the man. I hope he appears in something like a Peacemaker and beats the shit out of Peacemaker because he's Black Racer. He's got skis on, but he don't need snow. It's Black Racer. No, Bleeker. Skateboard's too obvious. We want skis. Can you imagine seeing this black guy with skis on his feet flying around? How badass is that? The poles. Pretty good, right? 3 guys checked into a ski lodge. This is my joke for today. The person at the desk tells them, hey, we've only got one room with one bed. So all 3 guys got to sleep in the same bed. The first guy falls asleep and he feels like he's getting a hand job. The second guy on the other side of the bed falls asleep, feels like he's getting a hand job. He's dreaming he's getting a hand job. And then the guy in the middle gets woke up because the guy says, I had a dream that I was getting a hand job. And then the other guy says, I had the same dream. And the guy in the middle says, whoa, I had a dream I was skiing. Bad dad joke. All right, bad dad joke. What else we got on here? The VW bug. I mean, the Black Racer is perfect. I mean, let's look at that outfit. I mean, he's wearing metal. He's got the ski things. He can't hold a gun or nothing because he's got to be holding his ski poles. He's flying through the air over a river. I mean, how can you beat the Black Racer? You can't beat the Black Racer. Black Racer, Polka Dot Man, Human Flame, Captain Cold. I love Captain Cold. Y'all know Captain Cold? Weird dude wears the Eskimo hat in the Flash shows. You gotta love Captain Cold. You gotta love Gaggy. Gaggy's like the midget-looking little person that hangs out with Joker. He's like, I could need to make my Furious 5. I would have Gaggy as the leader. I'd have Polka Dot Man. I'd have the Human Flame. I would have Captain Code and the Black Eraser, and they would rob banks, and nobody could stop them. And I would make it a lady cop book, and it'd be Lady Cop versus the Furious Five right there I just named. So how's Lady Cop going to stop them from robbing banks? She can't. But I'm a big Lady Cop fan too. Fast George is laughing. He's laughing. It must be my joke. It was such a good joke. Oh, man, yeah. You won't hear jokes like that nowhere else. And since Skins Bones is hanging out with me, I'll tell you one more. Skeleton walked into a bar. He said, give me a margarita and a mop. See, he ain't got no guts. So when he drinks, it just falls right through. Yeah. Margarita and a mop. Pow! Great joke. I need to just start a joke channel instead of a comic channel. Maybe if you made Black Racer silver and put him on a surfboard. We got to keep the damn skis. The skis is where it's at. Ramfast. Snowflame. Snowflame? What does that mean, Ramfast? Snowflame? I don't know what that means. But anyway, my last book I'm going to show tonight, I want a moment of silence for. Oh, I know you ain't talking about my jokes. You'll be telling that joke at the flea market. I got you. You're going to be telling that joke at the flea market, Blinker. You're going to be telling everybody. He's like, yeah, a mop and a margarita. You're going to be telling it. I know you. That ain't terrible. But anyway, you know, I'm buying these witching hours. And there's 80 of them, 85 of them to be exact. And I probably have 76. Well, when I started out, I bought like the best 25 covers because you want to collect all the best stuff. And after you get a bunch of them, you're like, well, I might as well just get the whole series. So now I'm stuck buying shitty covers because I want all 85. And I'm paying money for shitty, ugly covers, but that's what you got to do when you're trying to get all 85. So I have here the worst witching hour cover of all time. On one of my last videos, I showed the second worst cover of all time. Now I'm ready to show the worst cover of all time. But before I show you the worst witching hour cover of all time, let me see what Ramfast has got to say down there. Snowflame is a drug-powered supervillain who fought the New Guardians. The Guardians first met him in Colombia. I might have to Google this. Snowflame is a drug-powered supervillain. Hey, sounds right up my alley. I like these C and D list guys. If you can think any more, Lady Cop can kill them all. I'm into C and D list people. I showed y'all on here, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, Phony Baloney, the Tarantula, Miss Army Knife, not Swiss Army Knife, Miss Army Knife, it had the arm it came off and had all the different Swiss Army Knife connections. Phony Baloney was a guy that was impersonate other people. All the good people was on there. We had Sports King, Condiment King. Captain Cold became a villain because he was in love with the Irish West and told her so. I did not know that. You know everything, Anthony. I know nothing, but I know I love the way Captain Cold looks, and I love, if I was going to have a movie, I would want Ron Jeremy to play Human Flame, big fat 60-year-old Ron Jeremy. He's got to be big and fat with the Jerry curl and the bald spot on top. My Captain Cold would be the little dude, that the little guy, the little Oriental guy that was in what was that movie? Hangover. I want him to be Captain Cold. I don't know who I'd pick for the Black Eraser. I'd want Jim Carrey to be Polka Dot Man, real skinny, bony. I guess we'd have to use that little guy from what's Titties and Dragons? What's the name of that show on HBO? I call it Titties and Dragons. I don't know, but you got Jon Snow and all that on there. Anyway, you got to take the little guy there. You got me the little guy, so I guess he's got to play Gaggy. So, Pablo Escobar I guess that'd be pretty cool. What is up, Trev? Man, Trev is digging the shorts. I cannot make a short without Trev commenting on it. My skills are amazing, I guess. Yes. What is up, Trev? You just missed some very good knowledge. We just had a guy on here that's never been on a StreamYard before, and he was just spitting knowledge, and he went through 2 batteries. He went through one on his phone. He went through one on his damn laptop, I guess. But, you know, you missed some good knowledge there. You have to go back and watch that, Trev. Dude's forgot more than I'll ever know. How to recreate him into the Black Racer. Black Racer is cool. And here's him. I hope he ain't. I hope Immortal Biggie Shaq ain't trying to keep up and take up for the Surfer, because he knows Black Racer would beat the hell out of the Surfer. Game of Thrones, Titties and Dragons, same thing. I like that show. Edward Furlong with the run. Trev, yep. Well, anyway, let's get back to my last book. Last book, worst cover in Witching Hour history. This thing made headlines. It's so ugly. I don't know how this got through the door or why anybody even took it serious. If I was chief editor of DC, I would have tossed this shit in the garbage and told this guy to get back to work. But this one here is The Five Fatal Fingers. And I'm going to have about a 10-second moment of silence, which I've never done for an ugly-ass book. But I just want y'all to sit here and take all this in for 10 seconds. Is that not the stupidest damn cover you ever seen? Who has a noose like a pinky? And why would I be scared of a pinky noose? Why do you got a fucking bird sword finger and a fucking finger over there with a damn 6-shooter Western gun on it? And then you got a finger with a skull on it. This ain't even scary. I don't know what Five Fatal Fingers even means, but this is the worst cover in Witching Hour history. But I had to get it because I'm completing my run. And this cover is awful. Awful. I wouldn't piss on this book if it was on fire. It's awful. It's worse than my damn jokes. It's awful. Look at that. Is there anything scary on that cover whatsoever? How in the hell is he going to use that noose? Look at that damn Captain Hook bent sword. You can't even stab nobody with it. It's like a claw. There you go. Just plain awful. What can I say? Let's see what everybody else thinks about it. The Swiss Army knife. Yeah, Army knife fingers. That ain't even a good cover. Bleecker says, what the fuck is that? I agree, Bleecker. It's awful. Oh, man. It's like a bad night. Finger blast. Yeah. Yep. Dope is here. Yeah. I hate it. What can I say? You know, it's awful. Somebody's probably got a 9.8 of this CGC somewhere and thinks it's the baddest damn book on the planet. But I'm here to tell you, it's awful. It's awful. Oh, man. And like I said earlier, we had a guest on. We had Bizarre Brain Comics. He drew that right there. He also drew a bunch more pictures I have laying around here. If you ain't subscribed to Bizarre Brain, subscribe to him. Check him out. If you're passionate about comic books and you like stuff about comic books, check his channel out. Like I said, go through here and go subscribe to Bleecker. He's one of the hardest working men. Check out Bleeker's channel. It's Bleecker Street Comics. He's the man. There's Trev the Guru. Check his stuff out. Subscribe to him if you subscribe to him. I love watching I Love Disney. I seen him on there yesterday. Good stuff there. Lady Fantastic. She's always dropping new shows. I think she airs on Saturday night. She's showing stuff last night. Her and Rob Wurst. Go check her out. Like I said, Rob Fast. I'm always watching Rob. He's always dropping all his Amazing Spider-Man books, and he's starting to get the fever of the horror books. Fast George, what is up? Always glad to see Fast George. Fast George is the man. Always big in the community. Love some Fast George. Anthony, the most knowledgeable guy I've ever met in my life. He knows something about everything. Very interesting. Who else is up here in the chat that we have left out? Ben, City of Compton. That guy gets around. He's probably right now on Legion's channel. I know they do a show on Sunday night. Don't blame him at all for going over there. Probably a lot more interested in hanging out with this old dopey dude. Let's see. Anybody else that K-pop? Check out K-pop's channel. Jerry the Jitterbug. If you want to see some guy with some great skills, he refinishes books and he preserves books. And Jerry is the man. If you want to see somebody, subscribe to his channel. If you're into preserving books and you want to know how to do that, here's Blue Ocean Comics. Where did he come from? Never heard of him. Didn't see him on here. I'm glad to see Blue Ocean Comics. And El Green Machine. I know he's probably on Legion's channel by now, but we gotta love some El Green Machine and God Tank. He's always on here. God Tank is the man. He's big in the community. And Jimmy G. Jimmy G likes the women. What can I say about Jimmy G? And I think we're going to wrap up the show. It's been an hour, so it's been nice seeing everybody. And I hope we liked my show. And if you didn't like my show, you don't have to watch anymore. Just don't unsubscribe. Just don't watch anymore. But anyway, I will see you again beneath the blackened sky.